So I've just picked up my new surface grinder. So she's made it safely on a 3,000 kilometre journey from Melbourne, Australia, over here to Perth, across the Nullarbor Desert, and appears to be in good shape. It even survived me picking it up from the transport yard and its truck journey here to the new shop. So I'll get the straps off and we'll get it slung up with the hire on this truck. Use the crane there and we'll get it safely unloaded. Okay, so our rigging will be 2-ton slings through the hole, forklift hole on either end of the machine, and we'll attach the chain to the top of the sling. So I've got a pair of 2-leg 8mm chains on the hire truck. Now each of this set of chains is good for 3.5 tonne, and our slings are 2-ton slings. So the machine itself, the weight, we're not sure, it's either 2 or 2.5 tonne. The book weight is 2.5, the transport company says it weighs 2. So the book weight may include the big electrical cabinet there and the coolant tank. There's a fair bit of weight to that electrical cabinet. So now our 2-leg chain slings, one very important thing is when you've got it set up, I'll lift it up in the air, well no I won't, is that all your hooks, when they're dangling off the chains, off the shorteners, they're all the same. You haven't got one long one and one short one, which is an indication that you have one stretched chain. So if you got that, you do not want to use those chains. And also look on your, I know a lot of people don't know this stuff, but on your tag, on your chains, that's what you have to go by. You cannot guess. So you read the information on the tag on the chain. Well, okay, we're down but not quite in. So we've run out of room up there, as to be expected. So I've got the front or the side of the machine on a set of skates, proper machinery moving skates. So what we'll do now is we'll disconnect these front slings. We'll shorten up the 2 rear ones. And we'll also shorten up the lifting chains and we'll jigger it in that way. Well, g'day, Max here again. Welcome back to the new shop. So finally we made some good progress and pretty well completed our west wall that we were struggling to get done because of the heat. So we'll have a quick look at that, and as you can see behind me, our new to me surface grinder has arrived, the Jung, and we'll take a quick look at that. So we'll head that way. Yeah, so looking from the inside, obviously, we have completion. So our next mission will be the personal entry doors and then the roller doors. So we're slowly hitting our milestones one by one. So yeah, there's the roller door, personal entry door, the big window to complete, and I think we're going to be pretty well there. So let's have a look from the outside. So yeah, that's all the major 10 all finished now, all 142 sheets. So of course we still have to do all the flashings, so I'll get all those drawn up this week and send them off to get them pressed up, the drawings, and yeah, our doors to go in as we spoke of before. So we're making a bit of progress at last again, but yeah, those hot days really slowed me down. So as working on this wall, you're in the afternoon sun, which really takes it out of you. So let's head back inside. Yeah, the weather's been really kicking my ass trying to get that west wall finished. Working on it in the mornings is fine, you're in shade, but when the afternoon comes, the sun sets on that wall, so you got the heat and all that coming straight down on you. So anyway, let's take a quick overview of this grinder that I brought. So this machine, it's a Jung HF50 RD. I think it's about a 2.5 ton machine according to the information that I can find. Made in Germany, and it is an imperial graduated machine. So it's an electric over hydraulic machine. So there's all your electric controls, or some of them. In the lower part of the machine is the hydraulic power pack in behind that door. So your standard surface grinder controls, your table, your cross feed, and your part of your wheel height. The cross feed graduations in 1/1000ths of an inch. The wheel down feed graduations in 10/1000ths of an inch. So one revolution of that wheel will move the grinding head down 10 thou. On top of the machine, it has this interesting contraption. It's a diaform, it's a wheel profiling attachment. So in a nutshell, you'd have a tool comes down here with a diamond tip on it to profile a wheel, and up on here you'd have your profile that you want, and you have this, it's like a pantograph arrangement. So this follows your profile, and of course whatever where, I'll try and get a good shot of this, however I move this arm mimics the movement down here, but of course at a different scale ratio to your template that you have up there. So it's a bit like how the old pantograph engraver sort of setup type thing. Down here it's a coolant filtration tank that's made by Philips. It's got a bit of a weird conveyor system inside it. Needs a good clean out anyway. There's one of the electrical panels. We'll take a peek in there. DC motor. Now it has the DC motor because this has variable speed wheel. Well, yeah, you can run your grinding wheel whatever feet per second you choose to, depending on diameter of the wheel and material you're grinding. You've got electric buttons here for up and down feed, plus there's a little lever here, and the solenoid works that. It's got a hell of a lot of electrics in this machine. This cabinet, electrical cabinet here, this is a DC generator. So this is where the wheel speed is controlled, feet per second there, and you have a dial here if you're running an 8 or 9 inch wheel, 6 to 8 inch wheel, or a 6 inch wheel, and of course you can adjust your wheel speed here. So we'll have a bit of a look inside that one. So, machines, I think it's a it's a early 1970s machine, still in original paint, and I don't think this machine has had a great deal of, like, it's not flogged out. It's still, you know, it's a good clean up, and going over will bring it back to very good condition. I explained before, when I brought this machine, it does have a hydraulic fault, which they didn't know what it was, and this machine was, I brought from a major machine tool dealer. So the price was right considering the fault. Now the fault on a machine like this could be electro-hydraulic machine, could be anything. Like, there's something here for an example. Here is a limit switch, a sticky limit switch. So if that's stuck up, that could be enough to give the impression of a hydraulic fault. So anyway, let's take a peekaboo and see what's going on inside some of these cabinets. So inside the major electrical cabinet on the rear of the machine, it all looks quite tidy inside, like it hasn't really been messed around with or altered in any way. And yeah, it's all very neat wiring inside. Original card. And there's, blowing out, there's a wiring diagram and information there. This is part of inside of the DC generator. As again, it's all nice and neat inside. Actually sitting inside were these 3 old light globes. Still have globes in. It looks like original equipment, possibly come with the machine, but they're pretty old. And next door, just a storage cabinet. Still has the original stickers on. So nothing's really been messed with and altered. So in the lower section, this is getting into grounds that I haven't really got much of an idea about. This appears to be how it gets its AC to DC current. It's like a DC generator, I assume. Those are just filters for the end of the DC generator. Commutator ring looks to be okay, all a bit dark in colour, but there's no scoring, and it doesn't appear to have, I can't feel any wear on it. That's a good thing. Now I guess you could, well, nowadays I suppose this would be done with you could replace all this whole unit with a VFD if you were running the applicable type motor on the end of the grinder spindle. So well, hopefully this all still works. One-shot lubrication system, so that's a good thing. It does have a couple of weird and wonderful things on it. I do not have a clue as of yet what they do. This attachment here, it appears to be some type of a vertical slide with a graduated dial on it there as well. So yeah, it should be an interesting one once we start getting into this thing. But all going well. We won't find any major dramas with it, and it'll be, fingers crossed, should be a good addition to the shop. Turns out this is a wheel dressing attachment, so it swings around 90 degrees to run across the face of the wheel, so that it has a diamond nib in the end and your graduated end feed for the diamond nib. So that's that mystery solved. So I've got to start scratching my head and start planning a bit of a shop layout where all this gear is going to go, because I've got a lot of machines that I have coming in here. So what I'm thinking, this corner here, I'll build a wall coming out from that column, just shy of where this wall comes out, and that'll give a good size area for what I would need for a welding area. So basically from the wall then up to this roller door, we'll have as a steel storage area for steel stock, and there's the the smaller bandsaw and the large Casto power hacksaw will go in there. Coming across to the other side, the entrance door there'll probably a couple of metres in, I'll put a wall across for a couple of metres, and just with a table there, so in and outgoing jobs will go there, and it will also aid to protect anyone walking in that door and walking straight into the main shop. Which I'll just have you get those plastic chains you hang across your doorway to keep the public or keep people out from walking into your shop, which is actually quite critical. You do that over here. Probably in this corner, I'm thinking over here, I'll have the 3 grinding machines, our new surface grinder, my big ID grinder, and there's a cylindrical grinder will go in this area here. Now they're big machines, they take up a lot of real estate. Now, why I'd have my grinding machines, precision grinding machines there next to or opposite the side of the shop where I'm doing any welding, is your grinding machines are the best protected machines from grit and dirt. The other thing is too, the winds in this region, if I've got doors open, come from the east and south, or in the south, so predominantly the wind will flow out towards that door there. So it keeps any grindings or materials like that heading towards that door and not blowing through the whole shop. So I'll swing around. So looking up the other end of the shop, the very end bay, I've got to put a temporary wall across there. I'm going to lose that section probably for about 12 months, as I have a lot of my personal shit to store there. So the remaining space are these 3 machines, the Herbert, the Shaper, horizontal borer. Have to find a home here. So in total, still to come in here, you'll be looking at, there'll be 4 milling machines and 6 lathes to go in here, in this area. Plus, HBM, Shaper. And ancillary equipment, drill presses and your benches and normal run-of-the-mill workshop equipment. So should be a bit of a juggle, and we still have to work out a craneage situation. So I'm looking at a combination of pole-mounted swing cranes. They don't have to have a big capacity. Between that and some form of gantry on wheels, we should be able to manage. I had a bit of a shock yesterday. I was just coming down from the scaffolding up there, and I see a bloody snake slithering around the entrance to the doorway here. And of course, yesterday I had cut a few pallets here in this area, and I had a lot of tooling here from the horizontal boring machine, just sort of roughly laid over those pallets, and of course big chunk of black plastic on the top. So I've seen the odd mouse got run in there, but yeah, a little baby snake yesterday. So where there's baby snakes, he's got brothers and sisters and mum and dad somewhere. So just, it is that time of year here, so have to be vigilant. And of course the big tailstock support and that large facing chuck. They're not off my borer, that's the one off my borer. That's off a large Italian borer, so yeah, that'll be cleaned up and I'll be putting that up for sale. See, they're pretty hard to get hold of over here in the west. And of course my boring machine, yeah, just sitting there waiting for the day I can get time to go through it and give it a good birthday. Yeah, so basically in a nutshell, that's where we're at this stage. This will probably be the last video for several weeks, as yeah, you can see there's no point filming personal entry doors and things like that. I'm not stopping shed progress to do machining videos, unfortunately. Apologise for that, but as I've said before, priority is completion of this building to get it to lock-up stage, and we've just got to bite the bullet and get it done. So anyway, cheers, hopefully thanks for sticking with us, and we shall see you in the next video. As I said, if I get for any reason held up here and I can't do anything, then we'll carry on with building our dolly for shifting the remaining machines in. So anyway, have a good one, take care.